It was a good feeling, because sometimes the shots go in, and sometimes it's hard to kind of get in the flow. Trying to work on the consistency, and when you knock down that first three, like I did early in the game, like it just there's a flow that starts to develop, and one after another, it just felt better and better and better. And when that fourth one went down, it was an amazing feeling.
The timing of those first two, you may or may not be first. You have one when it's 9-9, and it sort of begins that run you guys are on, and sort of took any life out of them. And then there's another one after their quick buckets in the second half. When you think about like your role in hitting shots, the timing of shots you hit, how important is that to you this season?
It's very important because there's some times where either it can be at the beginning of the game or actually any time at any point of the game. If you consistently work on your shot and you do the reps, you do the work, it doesn't matter what time of the game it is. It's going to go, and you have to have confidence in your shot. That's another part of it. And like what you said, the timing of it is very important. I don't think it adds any pressure to the shot better go in. No, it's just you've done the work. It's an open shot. You shoot your shot just like you do in your work. And I feel like that's what a lot of us are kind of starting to unlock. We got guys in a lot of threes. Right here. We keep working on our confidence with that three.
Right. For you, this game was, Jeremy gets in foul trouble there. You've got a long run in the first half with a lot of different lineups. How comfortable did you feel out there, and how much do you feel like at this point Izzo is trusting you to run the show for that long?
Yeah, I felt pretty comfortable. I practiced with the first group and second group. I practiced if it's at the 1 or the 2. So, I just built chemistry with them all summer. So we finally got in the game and finally kind of paid off. And Izzo just trusted me to lead the team and just not turn over the ball. So it's been good.
That run in the first, what did that feel like for you to have that sort of run for the first time maybe this season?
Yeah.
You're really driving things.
No, for sure. Definitely just a big confidence booster. So I think I really needed that. So that was really big for me.
When you say you really needed that, what does that mean?
Just I've been starting the season pretty slow, I think, for my expectations. So I think that would it kind of just exploded for me right there.
Question for both of you guys: when you see Cohen go down in the first half, and maybe there's an injury scare there, what's the reaction like when you see him come back from that and be able to contribute with you guys?
Jax, take that first.
When we have anyone on our team go down, especially kind of the way that he did, we were obviously worried, and just the fact that he's a captain and a starter, and how much of an impact on our team has, it's really scary. But the fact that he overcame that and came back in and contributed to the team is huge. That kind of shows you the Michigan State toughness. You knock us down, we might be down for a sec, but we'll always come back up, and I think that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, just like Jaxon said, Michigan State toughness. So him just playing through it and just no matter what, just trying to keep fighting, which is really big for us.
Time for a couple more.
Jaxon, can you speak to Divine's performance today and sort of his start to the season, sort of coming along, and what you need from him?
Yeah, no, I wanted to make sure I said this, but shout out to Divine for stepping up and leading the team when Fierce kind of got in trouble early. It's not an easy job. Being a point guard for Michigan State with Tom Izzo, it's not an easy job. I think people don't understand that, and Divine's been working so hard, and stepping up in all these areas. Leading the team, talking about getting in the rotation with us. He's done an unbelievable job to beginning of the season to where he is right now. There's so much growth, and leading the team and his shots, shot selection, and now we're starting to see the confidence. The confidence that he had tonight, it's something that I'm really happy that he found. And you see that build and build and build, and he does that in practice too. That's something that not a lot of guys see, is that in practice he keeps taking steps, and that's what we need from him. We're gonna need to keep. We need to keep seeing steps, and we need to keep seeing growth, and I feel like he's perfectly capable of that.
You talked about toughness. It was a very physical game out there. Is that the way you felt?
Yeah, it was a very physical game. They had some big big men, and we knew that going into the game, and we had to make sure that we set the tone with our defense, not just the bigs but also the guards. That's a big staple in our program, is making sure that we establish the physicality, the toughness first. That's part of our program. That's a part of our DNA. The grit, and no matter what game it is, that's what we always have to establish first.
You guys
Thanks, everybody.
went to the Elite Eight last year. What's it going to take for you guys to get back that far? You were 2 games away from the championship.
Sorry, can you repeat that again?
You guys went to the Elite Eight last year, 2 games away from the championship. What do you think is going to get you back there?
I feel like what helped us get that far last year was kind of our togetherness, our bond, our chemistry, strength in numbers. I feel like for a lot of guys leaving and guys coming back, or a lot of guys leaving and then new additions to the team, I feel like we have that bond, we have that togetherness. From the summer to now, we have that strength. I feel like defense is something that we need to keep improving on. We need to keep controlling the boards. We need to keep shooting the ball like this. If we can shoot the ball like this, I feel like we can keep going another couple games or two.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Question a little bit, because what I've been telling my guys, and it's hard for reporters, fans, even coaches to understand, is the landscape that's changed so much. I'm just not sure where everybody is. I'm not even sure where we are yet. And so, I figure it's going to take 10, 12 games to figure out whether some of these big wins are big wins, or whether those teams aren't quite good enough, or maybe those teams get better. It's going to be a lot of things that happen, and it's a long, long season. So don't get fooled where we are. But I would like to say I was proud of my team today. I think they did play hard. I think that team is very physical. I thought our post guys did an unbelievable job. And second on the list was our fans. Our fans were phenomenal. I mean, I think we come down here and have a crowd like that. Hopefully we'll get a lot of them back on Thursday. But that's one of the fun things about this job, is when you go places and you get a following like you get. So players in the post did well, fans did well, and we shot the 3 a little better. I think we've still got to get better at the free throw line. I was kind of disappointed but sad for Cohen, because he missed those first 3, and then he played pretty well after that. And we just got to keep getting better.
You said about your fans coming down here. You like coming down here to Fort Myers area? Is this a place that you like to visit?
Love it. Love it, as long as we can win games. If we didn't win games, I probably wouldn't love it as much. I enjoy the sun like everyone else, but you guys are missing out on the snow too. A little snow doesn't hurt me. It toughens you up a little bit. You guys get soft down here.
Tom,
You
with,
guys are up 30, 40 points, not letting up. Is that what you're trying to press upon these guys at this time of year to make it march?
Well, we have not played. I don't know if we played down to our competition some games, although we did not play a lot of what I would call cupcakes. We played a Colgate who's won their league 5 out of 6 times, and so. But we needed to get a game. We made some threes, got on our run. Our defense caused the turnovers, points off turnovers, 31-6 or 8 or something, and those are good stats for us.
With Divine, you get the situation at the end where Jeremy's in a little bit of foul trouble and you had to lean on him. And maybe the first time this season he looked, I don't know, it's a pretty good stretch for him. I'm wondering what you thought of that stretch.
Yeah, it is a pretty good stretch. There was times it was a good stretch for Trey too. I mean, those 2 guys, I love them and they drive me crazy, because they just got to continuously realize that it's not football. Football is really easy. The great defensive players play defense. The great offensive players play offense. But in basketball, they have to play both ends of it, and it makes it a little more difficult. And those guys have struggled on that. I thought they were both better tonight, but yeah, Jeremy got in a little bit of foul trouble. I thought he did a good job. I thought Denham did a pretty good job when we took him in there in the first half, made a couple of great plays. And And Cohen became a little bit more of a playmaker at 3-4 assists, but that was definitely Devine's best game offensively and defensively, and he's just got to keep working.
Is that what you're hoping by the time you run into that situation in late January or February where that you can trust him by then to deliver?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that all my guys get better, by the end of the year. I can't wait till January for them to get better, and yet in fairness to them, when they come and they played in different systems a couple times, and now your system's different than the one they've been in. It's not always their fault. It's one of the downsides of these crazy rules we're in, but it is what it is, and we're just trying to speed the process, to be honest with you. Every day we're trying to speed the process and coach them every second, on the bench. When we get back to the hotel, it'll be going over the mistakes they made and trying to, it's really interesting to listen to Jaxon, even though sometimes he's crazy, but I love crazy people because he comes every day and plays so hard. The toughness, Cooper did that, I thought all of our bigs, Cohen did that, got some steals. That is the culture of our program, and it'll be tested on Thursday, that's for sure.
What are your thoughts about the challenges that North Carolina will bring? Obviously, a taller and different roles that you face than the other time, even now.
Yeah, they are a different team, and they got a hell of a player in Wilson. I do believe he's every bit as good as they say. And they do have size, they're 6'10" at the wing, for God's sakes. But, they got to guard us too, so it'll be hopefully it'll be a great game. I think it'll be an incredible atmosphere. I'm sure they'll bring a lot of people. I know we'll have people waiting outside. This is what makes, these kind of games is what makes basketball in November. Otherwise it just kind of drifts away and it's the JV team to football. But when you have these good games and good matchups and good fan interest, it makes basketball pretty exciting.
What does this team present differently than last year's North Carolina team?
What North Carolina team, what are they different than last year? Well, Wilson's a big difference because they got a legitimate star, if you ask me. He's very good. And then the big kid, and I haven't watched a ton on him. I got other things, but the big kid from Europe, he's he can make threes, he can shoot the ball, and they're working in their point guard too. Kid from Colorado State, they're working him in. It takes him a little time. So we're all doing the same thing. That's why I said I wouldn't put a lot into a bunch of wins or a bunch of losses till we're 10, 12 games in. Then I think we'll have a better idea who's who and who's what. What I'm proud of is I think the schedule we put together gives us a chance to challenge ourselves and at least have some kind of measuring stick. Now we'll see if we or they live up to the billing of how good they are right now.
Pretty resilient from Cohen to go down with that injury early and then come back.
Yeah, I was a little worried about that injury because a groin injury or a pulled muscle for a athlete like that is probably the worst injury you can. I'm hoping it'll be okay, but he's a tough SOB, and just said, don't worry about me, I'm fine. So I said, I do worry about you, but I'm glad you're fine.
One final one over there. Coach, the Associated Press in Boston wanted me to ask you about 10 years ago you played at Matthews Arena. I think they said they thought the reason why you wanted to go there is that it was a historic arena and wanted your guys to experience what it was like playing there. Is that what you remember?
That is very true. And I also took him to the Palestra, and I'm not sure it's for my guys. I think it's for their coach. I like to be in places where when men were men and basketball was basketball instead of what we have sometimes now, and God, if you didn't play hard in those places, you dove for a loose ball on the sidelines, you were landing in, the fans. And so I like to try to get to every place that I never been to that is historic. And those two were definitely high on my list. And, been to a lot of the great ones, the Cameron and all the others. But that was a special treat that night, just the history of it and the way we did it. And I also like going places that gives our fans a chance. There's nothing neater than, everybody wants home games, but it's really neat when you can go out and give your fans a chance to see you that never get to see you.
I think that was their first sellout in 20 years.
Yeah. So thank God we won. I don't mind helping them, but I think it helps Michigan State too. I really believe that. I think it's important that the fans that were asking to help us, that we bring our product to them. And I just love when our players interact with them like they did at the end. Those are memory-making moments that I know the fans will take away. But 10 years from now, those players, they're a little more entitled now than they used to be, but they're going to appreciate that too.
All right, you talked
Thanks,
a little
guys.
bit about your point guard. You have a really good point guard. He leads the country in assists. You've had some good point guards. Steve, Winston, Valentine.
Yeah,
Came up
yeah.
as an assistant with, Steve Smith.
Yeah,
And,
Team Cleves. I mean, we've had enough of them, and that's why we've gone to Final Fours. Good quarterbacks get you to Final Fours. Good quarterbacks get you to win championships. It's not good coaching; it's good quarterbacks. And I think I got one in the making. He went through the injury, and it's taken up some time to get where he wanted, but he started to shoot the ball better. He's really sees the court well. Him and Cohen, him and Coop have incredible kind of feel for each other on those lobs, and Jeremy gets his defense back to where it was, because he used to be able to dog you defensively. It gives us another chance. So I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys Thursday.